I submit, colleagues, that I was born and bred basically in Mandarin, which to this day is one of the major areas that supports ZANU-PF. I was born with that blood. Did our part at a young age during the struggle for independence. I was also very young, 8, 9. We got that conscientization. We got to know much more. And after that, after school, obviously after independence, we became very active in the youth programs at a very tender age. When Simba Makon was Minister of Youth in Mamjuru, and up to a point where we had youth brigades which were quite vibrant, doing agricultural projects, gardening, and so forth. And after that, joined the president's office and got to understand the state and its operations at a very close level, the politics, what happens in politics, and so forth. And that indeed gave me a very important grounding. From then on, I got to appreciate much more what politics was all about, what is all these issues to do with the party. And I then became, was drafted by the late Boda Gezi, Mamjuru, Nicholas Koche, Chenchim Tengwende, Chris Kuruneri, and others, the late Shindori Chininga, and Kumre Manika, and James Makamba to come into the province as chairman of the youth. I rose at a very young age, around about 28 years old. I was chairman of the Youth National Central Province, served in that capacity for about 2 years, and then thereafter participated, lost an election, by the way, at the Youth Central Committee position initially in 1999, 1998. But by 2001, the youth elected me to become a member of the Politburo as deputy secretary. I was elected. I was not appointed. I was elected by the College of Young People, and they were to re-elect me again to that position across the country in 2004. 2004, I was re-elected. And I served up in 2009 when I stepped down owing to advanced age. And I think it was important, and it's still very important, for leadership in any party to come through and rise within the ranks of the party. An ideological grounding and knowledge of your political party or your bearing should happen correctly if one rises through the ranks, and that's what we did. Yes, come this story of the G40 grouping and so forth. Yes, obviously we're then in the 40 group, but this name comes out of a discussion or an article sponsored by veteran leader Rugare Gumbo, when he says these are G40, these are G4, the G4s, gang of four. And then this was myself, Opam Chinguri, Jonathan Moyo, and Patrick Joao. This was the gang of four. This was the initial grouping that said this gang of four. We used to work the Women's League with us very closely, the ICTs and the Moyo, and we described then as the gang of four. But we lost one of our members of the gang of four, Chinguri, when along the way. And then when the slide began within ZANU-PF and the challenges began within ZANU-PF, we then called the group of 40, the G40s. How does this G40 group come to be? Professor Moyo authored a seminal paper, which I'm still going to encourage that you must read it, where he spoke about the youth dividend, how the new generation of below 40s must play a role in the economy, that it was again young people who were the center of the liberation struggle, and at below 40, 20s and so forth, they fought for the liberation of the country. And his paper argued that it's important if the country and its economy were to succeed, especially the indigenization program, the land reform program, that at the core and center of our economic revolution be young people. So he has identified a generational cohort and said these young people at 40 and so forth should play an important role in driving the economic growth of the country. And at that time, I was also Minister of Youth Development, Indigenization, and Economic Empowerment. So it happened, it became like coincidence that people felt that it meant to just a few people. No, it was an approach which sought to say this generation must identify its call, must identify its cause, and must do whatever it can to make sure that the economy becomes its launchpad, becomes its area of focus, and we attend to that seriously. And because of disagreements and some of the, perhaps I would say, inability to stomach some of these groupings emerging in the party, it became a toxic fight, and it should not have been. It's regrettable that we are where we are, but we should never have allowed ourselves to be divided on the basis of lack of understanding from where should we go to. And I think this is as a result of the party at a national level failing to articulate a coherent succession plan. The thing that brings us to where we are today is lack of a coherent succession plan within ZANU-PF. Hence, it became a free-for-all. It became a violent program because those with power, the muscle to say I can use my muscle to take power, ended up doing so. And this cohort, as I would put it, of young people felt we knew it was not about taking over power per se. It was about encouraging the youth, especially, to become involved in the economy, to become drivers of the economy, to open up opportunities. The STEM programs, programs that were enacted by government in various ministries, public construction, how youngsters must get more land in the Ministry of Agriculture, housing, and so forth. This was a comprehensive response to the youth bubble, if I would say it. There is a growing number of young people who need opportunity in our country, but we have not been able to systematically respond to these youngsters and their aspirations.